Hello, Ruth. How are you?
That's fine. I thought I couldn't hear you. I was just saying, Sophie, how easy it is to actually get them. Somebody that you've never met, that you don't know, to
Mhm.
use their bank account or open a bank account.
Yeah, I cannot understand how. I don't care for any reason, for any circumstances. I don't care if you're gonna think you're getting married to somebody. You never, ever give your personal information, open up a bank account, give somebody your driver's license. You don't do that in person. I don't understand how
I don't
people
think you
do
would.
that
I get
online.
it. I really don't think you would. I mean, if you,
Oh, thanks, Mel.
um, it is, by the way, very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, you just wouldn't. I mean, if you knew somebody, if you were engaged to somebody, you were going to get married, and they said, okay, can I tell you what? Just let me use your bank because mine's not working very well.
Never.
Can I take a copy of your driver's license? Can I take a copy of your ID card? Can I have your
Never.
social security number?
No. Why do people online do that?
So
Why?
talk about tonight is what Sophie's been tearing her hair out. I'm not quite surprised your hair's not curly the way you.
Yeah, well, I straightened it.
Yeah, we always say things over here. I could tell you things to make your hair curl. This thing about if you have an account in your name,
Mhm.
what happens when somebody puts a large amount of money in, or any amount of money, but we've been hearing about some massive amounts of money.
Yeah, well, I've tried to get a firm conversation with the IRS and the banks, and this is from what I understand. If you open up a bank account, these bank accounts in the United States are linked to your Social Security number. So the banks are obligated to send reports to the IRS about the monies that you deposit in the bank. They are required, so they say by law, any amount of money of $10,000 or over, they automatically, supposedly, send the IRS that information. So therefore, you should be receiving from the IRS, pay taxes on that set amount of money, whatever it is. So
Because
you're
we're
responsible.
talking about in scam,
Hmm.
scam wise, $10,000 is not a lot.
No. In a scam wise, no, that's minimal.
I mean, we discovered this. Well, it's not that we discovered this. We had somebody before Christmas, and they, allowed their bank account to be used,
Mhm.
and it was like, how much was it that she got the 70,000 bill on?
I don't remember. I'm having so many victims lately. I'm victim like overload today.
We
I
had
helped them up
we had one woman who opened 8 bank
8
accounts.
bank accounts.
Yeah,
Yeah, the person that I'm dealing with opened up 3
yeah.
and deposited multiple checks. So I'm still unsure if these checks are mules, stolen money from businesses, because it could be like a woman or another man victim, or it could be like stolen from a business. Nobody knows where this money is coming from, or it could be just a bad check. So I'm unsure whether or not this person is a mule at this point, whether that money was coming from somebody or was it just bogus. So now this person is responsible. The check they deposited the check, $9,000. It cleared. He took it out and sent it to Bitcoin to them, and the bank closed the account for fraud, and he has to pay the bank back the $9,000. And now worried that on top of that, he's got to pay taxes on it.
Yeah. And
And this is your life. This is what you do for people. This is your life, you
and
know.
this thing is the thing is, and we can't really get through to people enough that this is common.
Yes,
You, you know,
very common.
you would think that you would come across 2 or 3, half a dozen a year, but
No.
this is common. I mean, a lady today or was it last night? You know, they're all mixed up now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's only the third.
no, I can't bear it. Yeah, she's, you know, she taken in some, she given him her bank account details, but not a password.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Money
nice.
in, and she took it out and sent it. Now, she sent it in cash. It's another story. But I asked her how much. It was
Oh
$123,000.
my God, she's gonna
No,
have to pay taxes on that.
yeah, can you imagine? Well, that's what I said to her. She said, "Oh yes, but it was fraud. It was fraud. I was
Oh,
fooled." I said, "That doesn't matter."
doesn't matter. I mean, it's like I said to this person. Not only is it like money laundering? They wrote bogus checks. That in itself
It's a
is a
felony.
crime.
Yeah,
You can't write checks,
yeah,
fraudulent checks,
yeah.
and not be a criminal. That's just the way the law is. And you can't say, you know what, I'm sorry, I didn't know, officer. You can't get away with that.
And I said to this woman, and she hadn't been in the scam very long. I said to her, "How much does he know about you?" "Well, a fair bit," she said. I
Hmm.
said, "Address?" "Yeah." "Date of birth and birth, you know,
Yeah.
birthday and what you are?" "Yes." "Social security number?" "Yes."
Oh,
You know,
jeez.
I can't think of a situation where you would have to send. I mean, hell, he was buying in medical equipment in Egypt.
Uh,
I can't think of a situation, even with the bank account nonsense, that you would have to tell anybody your social security number.
Never. I can't believe that. And then I can't believe that people just hand it over to them. It's never needed, and they ask for it all the time, and it's like, oh, here it is, take it. And you don't, and then the backtracking is phenomenal because that basically, I mean, the person I dealt with today, thank God, did not give her social, but she's backtracking now, and all the things that she's trying to think of what she did so that she can protect herself. It's so involved. It's really massive. Fortunately for her, she found us and she's out, and I'm glad. And I'll help her with what she needs to do to file. The money's gone. I can't tell you. I know for a fact there's somebody, when you send money to your scammer, there is somebody on the receiving end to take it out immediately. There is no withdrawal. None. You cannot get it back. So even these companies that claim they can get it back,
Yeah,
even the legitimate ones, there are ones that are legitimate, Ruth. We talked about this and how they claim they can get your money back. And I talked to them and I said, I know for a fact you can't. So
yeah,
how are you able to get away with this? And they said, well, we could go and sue the bank.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's like you're going to leave these people on more and get more money out of them for a suit, and the money's gone. Ruth, you and I know that.
Yeah.
They're buying
And it's
drugs and
the woman who said that one. I think she said something about paying $500 up front, but she thought she would have to pay more. And you know, they can't get it back. So they can
no.
say, I mean, the ones that I like are the hackers. You know, oh, we can hack
Mm-hmm.
a bank account and we can get that money back. Just
Yeah.
$100.
No, these I talked to legitimate ones, and that's
Yeah,
even more. I think in itself is more frightening because they'll
yes,
take your money,
yes.
knowing that they can't do jack for you, jack doo doo, and they'll just take your money and scam you once again. So
And apologetic. Well, we tried everything. We tried everything that we could, but you know, we couldn't get it back. I'm sorry, but you know,
exactly,
money back from that, are you? So
no, they're making money off of
yeah,
that. They don't do it for free,
yeah.
just like scammers. So
But what we've
it,
got, and I don't know how to tackle this, because you know, people will say to us, "Oh, I wish I knew about you. I wish the information was out there before they started." The information is there.
it
There
is
is
there.
nobody does any research before.
So after they send the money, ah,
When something bad's happened, when they've
yeah,
lost money, when they, you know, the bank accounts all screwed, But what we've got to actually get through to people is that actions have consequences. And you giving your bank account to a person that you don't know, and I don't care how many love you honeys you've had,
Yeah, exactly.
is somebody that you don't know.
Yeah, I do not understand that. I do not understand the personal information, the moving, the person I spoke today, 2 months, Ruth, sent a phone, an iPhone. It looked like a warehouse in New York. You know, the fake daughter needed a phone, so she sent it. And 2 months and $5,000.
Do you know, when it's my birthday, I get a bottle of gin.
Yeah.
These scammers kids get iPhones. Yeah. And but would you? You know, very often you wouldn't pay a top of the range iPhone for yourself, or but you would send it to his daughter, because I don't know whether they want to impress, or or whatever. But
I, I think they feel sorry. They make I think, the scammers get to them with they feel sorry. There's this very sweet lady today. I feel so bad for her. Only 30 years old, which kills me. 30 years old. So it doesn't matter how old you are. Everybody needs to know about that. And, before I got off the phone, I said to her, you need to tell your friends, maybe not tell them you got scammed, but tell them about scamming. People need to know. And she said, well, it affects mostly older people. I said, look at you. It doesn't matter.
it used
People need to be warned.
it used to. I mean, when I first got into it, and even when you did, sort of, it was grey-head or granny catchment, But I think what changed that was Instagram, where there wasn't so much information given. And now they've got TikTok, and they're picking up anybody.
Oh, yeah. That's really sad. And you can't really do anything about TikTok. And then I've argued with people about, even on TikTok, and I'm like, well, I'm talking to Keanu Reeves on TikTok. Well, no, you're not. You're talking to a scam. Well, he knows everything about him. But Keanu Reeves doesn't have social media. Oh,
Yeah.
It it's everywhere, and everybody. It's what I keep saying to myself is, until social media, the owner, is responsible to clean up their platform for actually doing something about it, you cannot trust anybody,
No, it's
anything, anywhere.
going to have to be a legal requirement, because they're not going to do it. And
They're
it's going
not going to
to
do it.
be a legal requirement for them to do it.
Yeah.
I still find a way around, to be honest. I just do not see that scamming's going to stop if somebody tries to stop them. I almost think they're going to find, a way around it. But what we're seeing is shorter scams, very much shorter scams. I remember a few Christmases ago, this girl said to me, I thought I was told I was told he might be a scammer, but I said he wasn't. I've been talking to him so long, and he's never asked me for anything.
Oh, I hate that line.
Absolutely. He'd waited a year and a day.
Mm.
She talked to him on the 23rd of December the previous year, 23rd of December on that year, 24th of December, he'd asked her for money. Mm-hmm. And she said he waited a year and a day. Says, well, two things here. One, he might have got other stuff from you. He might have just been compiling the funds, which we're going to need to do one on that as well. Yeah. And also, they're scamming 80 to 100 other women at the same time. If they think you're not going to pay, they're not going to waste the time, so they're going to keep talking to you.
They're not going to give them up. They're not going to give up your client just because you're not sending money. They're not going to do it. And even when you block them, even when you tell them that they're a scammer, they're still not going to give you up. They don't stop. There's an endless supply of lonely people that they're going to attack. They are not. They are Like, I like to portray them like as the dirty old man standing outside of the elementary school with a puppy in his hand and a raincoat. That's what they are. They're predators. They're and they don't stop. Even if you stop them, maybe a year from now, 2 years from now, somebody's gonna call you.
And call you really nice as well. Honey, I've missed you. Have you missed me?
Yeah.
And it just gets in. It's sort of just, they just get the way in. But what we are seeing so much more of now is the move from the chat-up line to the business. And that is getting quicker.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I would like to see is to cut off the I would continue to push the not talking to strangers online. It has to be one of our focus, because it just, once you let them in, they are, there's no word to describe what they are. They just will not stop.
I put something about Yahoo Boys last night. I had to take it down because
you told me.
Absolute abuse we got because we talked about Yahoo Boys and Nigerian scammers. Not everybody in Nigeria is a scammer. Where have we said that? We know.
Yeah, we know.
You're not saying that, but a lot are. But we're talking about the ones that are actually scammers.
Oh, and they're very proud of it.
Yeah, I mean, they're actually doing it. So if they don't like to be called scammers, hard lines.
No, that's not a good word for them. I don't know what is.
But I told you, today I had one. Oh, it was Brandon Burleson. It was really him. He's done it. We've got a one on the page.
Oh, well, I have one marrying Brandon Watkins.
Oh.
I'm his fiance, and blocked us because we're the scammers. She's his fiance. That's what it's been like the first few days. It's been really hard.
Hey, what's up? I know he's not called Jack James. Scam boy. I'll get you later.
We'll get him later.
Jones, get the pictures you want off your account because it's not going to last very long. What we've got to do, Sophie, and I wanted to make this only about 20 minutes. What we are seeing is an absolute explosion in bank accounts being given over. Very, very dangerous information being given over. And so easily. Absolutely. I have a theory. I have it.
Okay.
That because you see everybody with the face in the phone these days. It's a joke. Everybody walking around with the face in the phone. Every word that they read on that phone is real and gospel.
Yeah.
They're looking at so much. They're scrolling through Facebook. They're scrolling through TikTok. They don't have time to think. They don't seem to. I mean, we would look at something and say, well, that can't be right. They look at it as if it's right, as if it's real. Everything is real. And so, that's what we've got to come up against. But what gets me is this tax thing. Because the lady who put $123,000 in her account, it might have only been in a short time.
But, she will have to pay taxes on it. I mean, I'm not so sure with the person with the 9,000. I'm not so sure because it's kind of under the threshold. And then I discovered another thing, that Form 8300, which is when a bank suspects your account as receiving fraudulent money. They're required to report it to the IRS. Nobody could give me clear understanding what that form was, but what I do understand is if it's an interest-bearing account and you put money in there, even if it's a day,
yes,
you're going to pay taxes on
I was talking to the fraud department of Morgan Chase Bank, and I said to him, I said, woman opened the account. A lot of money was put in. Now we're talking $510,000 was put into that account.
That's a lot of money.
she said to me that she's closed the account. Now, my pay grades, they'll take them from us. We can't find out what happened to them because obviously it's then legal. But he said to me, it's all right. He said, she opened the account. The money got put in. She didn't close the account. He closed the account.
How were they able to figure that out, you know?
Because he's in the fraud department of Chase Bank, so he can see
Oh,
who closed it, the person who closed it came from.
gotcha.
And even better, where the money went to.
Oh, nice. Even nicer.
So he thanked me for disturbing his holiday season. Because I'm not doing this now. But you see, she opened that account. Now, this woman had also opened an LLC in their names. Now, obviously, that LLC is going to be accepting money.
Oh my God.
And
that's terrible.
by the time by the time we got her, because few of us got her, she was over the million. Not 1.2. She'd opened an LLC. Hadn't been, a really long romance, but
Isn't she married one? Is she the married one?
She was married to him. She left her husband, and everything, and then showed us the next day that, well, she was sticking with her scammer. You can't do it. But what gets me, Sophie, and you as well, I know this, is the fact that we throw these, 510,000, 123,000, 9,000. We throw these. Can you hear that bird?
Yes, I do.
Not like.
Yeah.
Really just
it's funny.
Quiet since I get up.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's every dollar has come from extortion from a victim.
Yeah.
It's
sad. It's heartbreaking, and I wish we could make it stop. I really wish we could make it stop. I mean, and on top of that, Ruth, these victims, their clients are heartbroken, grieving, like they lost a family member. So, which is worse, I don't know. For some of them, and it's hard for them to accept that what they were really dealing with was what it really is.
Because you're turning the whole thing round. They've got this lover, they've got this future in their head, and it turns out that
it's hard to accept. I can kind of understand that. It's so heartbreaking what we do every day, Ruth.
I mean, we've got somebody on the page at the moment, and Denise says she wants to pull them through the screen and slap them. I know just how she feels, because they're blaming one of the guys, for being.
What is it with that? I do not understand. You can contact the real Brandon Burleson, You can find out where he is in the States. You can contact some of these men are in the States. Why you think that these are men with lives, jobs, wives, families? Why are they so sitting there thinking that they're sitting away chatting and texting, and they're the real ones doing it?
Yeah,
I don't get it.
We do get it all the time. On his Instagram account, it's his wife, it's his ex-wife. She's got control of it, so he actually can't get into it. And so he's talking to me on a different one. So we've got to be really careful that she doesn't find out. But I've got to say, you won't let him get into the bank account. And it goes on, and it's like, do you believe everything everybody says to you? Because it really is, rubbish. And you've got, I think if you've got the Instagram account, and it's the real one, you've got proof.
Why do you believe the fake? Yeah, where's the proof? I don't get it. And the other thing that gets it, all these people, these proof, they've never talked to them. Never. I'll bet you they've never had never had, like we're doing, and never had a voice conversation. Because that's what happened with a couple of my victims that I've talked to. It's like, by the way, how is the voice conversation? We never had one. A year, you're involved in a year, you're going to marry someone and you never talk to her on the phone.
I've put something on tonight because I was talking to a one yesterday. He was using Jordan Freer. And Jordan's about, I don't know, 35, 40, I don't know. But, you know, he was madly attracted to me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I got him on a voice call because he was quite funny. And he was not even trying to disguise this African voice. And he was a military man, and he was all of this, and then you just could see, yeah, he had a sodic moment, and he switched the video on, and there he was, and now I had I was using the iPad to film in on the phone. You film the video, the chat on the phone.
Yeah.
So of course he couldn't see me because I usually would just turn it around anyway. I don't video chat with them. But absolutely not bothered in the slightest. Showed himself. Showed who he was. And it wasn't, well, you know, you could help me. Are you going to help me? You could help. There was no embarrassment. There was no sorry. Well, there was, but not one that meant, oh, you know, there's no jobs in Nigeria. This is all we can do. And
they're just dirty beggars. Ugh.
There was no awareness of the enormity of what he was doing. There was bits that I couldn't put public. And, you know, I was saying to him about being Jordan. Well, it was like Jordan was a pattern. You know, you think Jordan was a check pattern because, to be honest, it was like Jordan wasn't even a person to this scammer.
Well, they're not.
You know,
it's like I kind of like it. They're I don't know whether like. Sometimes I think they pretend like my brother did when he was playing army men, soldiers. Yeah. And that they're soldiers, and this is just a game to them, you know, and they built this story up like a character in their head. You know, they're not, nothing is real to them. The only thing that's real to them is that green, that money. That's the only thing that's real to them.
Yeah.
That's all they want. Nothing else. The most greedy nation in this world.
And it is just awful what they do to the world.
Oh, it's terrible.
They, you know, they are sat there and they literally have the world as a catchment. They can do. I've got a Lawrence Flores victim who will not have it. I've talked to her family. She's going around the family now because obviously he didn't come home at Christmas. Papua New Guinea.
Oh, yeah. Oh, anywhere, doesn't matter. Like I said, you cannot respond to them because once you respond to them, they get right under your skin. Then you can't get them out. And why do you need, I don't understand why people need to be friends with everybody on the internet. I really don't understand. It's not safe. I mean, even the victims that I talk to, I know I'll say to them, you know, don't accept friend or follow request anymore. Or is this person real? Yeah. It's like, please don't talk to anybody. You don't know them. You don't know who they are. I mean, yeah, they could.
You know, people would not believe how we get them. And we said, don't accept a friend or follow request from a stranger. We could stop scamming tomorrow. We could stop it now.
Yeah, but they doesn't.
And then they come on and say, yes, but if you would just check this.
Yes, but. Yeah, military is all fake. But can you just check this one out?
Very nice.
Well, he's in Virginia. Did you call the base to verify that he was there? No, I want you to give me solid proof. Not me.
Yeah.
Call the base. There's solid proof. He's in Virginia. You know, they'll tell you, no, there's no soldier that name here.
But
There's your stalker, but doesn't want to listen.
the lover boy can't give solid proof that he's real.
No, they can't. And they don't push them like they push
No,
us.
no, they don't. And so it's 2023, and we're going into 2023 just the same way as we went into 2016.
Yeah, terrible. I think I read, what is it, 2.1 billion last year, 2021. And I've been doing a lot of for looking for articles, ideas. I've been doing a lot of Google, and the percentage rate for people who have been scammed once, to they have an 85 to 95% chance that those friend requests are going to be fake. If you Google it, it's out there. So us telling people not to accept friend requests from people they don't know is valid. There are numbers to back that up. It is just crazy. The percentage they feel, the percentage of people that report romance or scam is about 5%. 5%.
And that 5% has never changed. We've always quoted 5%. And
That's what
never changed.
It's gonna be so much more this year. 2022, I can only imagine what the numbers are gonna be.
No,
And that's of the people that just report. And people don't report, I understand they're embarrassed. But
that's why I keep saying about the IC3 page. People say, oh yes, but they don't do anything about it. It doesn't matter. If they don't know what's happening, they can't do anything. Nobody's going to do something about a crime that's got a 5% reporting rate.
Exactly. I mean, if more people came out, maybe we would stand better odds with what we do, but people need to come out and tell them.
The local crime prevention officer for this town. And he used to do talks, and he used to say to people, your car's being broken into outside, report it. And people would say, oh, no, there's no point in reporting it because they don't do anything. He says, yes, but how do we know? He said, you report it as being in your street. He said, there might be another 12 in your street. So if all those people report it, we know we've got a little crime wave in this street. He said, if nobody reports it or one reports it, we don't know. He said, one thing you get, he said, when you become a police officer, you get handcuffs. He said, I always ask them, they really should issue a crystal ball. We are supposed to guess where the crime is and where it's happening. And it's very true, and it's absolutely what we do, Sophie.
Yeah, we do need a crystal ball. Sometimes
they don't know the extent it's happening to if people don't tell them. So do it for statistics.
Yeah, they need to tell. I tell victims that all the time, that say they're not going to do anything about your case, but you reported this address in New York, and 10 other people reported that address in New York, and it's in their database, and they're like, ooh, well, maybe we should investigate this. But if you don't do it, they're never going to know.
The thing that we're talking about Good Morning America about is where 6 romance scammers were arrested in New York for millions, absolutely millions. The reason that they were arrested was the accumulation of information that came in, because people lost 10,000, 20,000, a lot of money, but under the radar for what the FBI would investigate. But if you've got 50 people lost $10,000, that and the information is the same, that they give it the same information. So this one, gives the information. That one does. That one does. That one does. And I can guarantee that IC3 collates everything. Nothing was left hanging. They collate everything, and it goes together. So your one scam, even if it was $5,000, might go with the others.
Exactly. I tell everyone to report. It's important to report, because if you want something done about it, I mean, your scammers are not going to get caught. They're not going to get investigated. But if you want something done about it, the FBI needs to know that it's bigger than they see it. They can imagine that it's bigger, but they need people to come forward.
So I mean, this is what we're going to concentrate on this year.
Yeah.
You know, if we can school enough people, we'll never school them to say no. I give up on that.
Yeah, that's true too.
You know, I've said,
Yeah.
oh, you know,
What a handsome guy over there. Woo!
when I came into the all friends and follow, all friend requests are fake. Oh, I'm going to get the word out and I'm going to stop all this scamming, you know.
Yeah, right.
Didn't make any difference at all. But yeah, what we need to do is keep going.
Yep.
Keep going on about it, keep banging on about it. Even if, you know, we know, Sophie, how many people that we catch, and it's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's huge.
We do get people out of scams.
Yeah. And then on the other hand, I do see what they do on the other end, and it's mind-boggling. These channels, these you know, Instagram, not Instagram, the
Telegram.
WhatsApp and Telegram, 40,000 people, you know, just in one group, you know, and it's not, and have I told you, it's not just romance scams. It's skimming off of ATM cards. It's skimming off credit cards. It's buying data that was stolen. You know, it's more to it. So it's huge. It's not just the romance scam. It's still the tip of the iceberg.
And what do we say all the time? That it sounds very exotic. Oh, you know, they get all this information and they put it on the dark web and then they sell it. No, they don't.
Yeah,
They don't need the dark web. It is there.
they don't need it. Yeah, I Googled, I shared with Ruth. I didn't want to share it on the page because I don't like to share the
Yeah.
how-to scams. But if you, I found a YouTube that it showed you step by step how to create a fake account,
Mhm.
how to find rich women, and how to message them, and what you do and what you don't do so you don't get caught. It's just right out there on YouTube. Anybody can say it, you know, and there's hundreds like it.
Yes.
I report them. They don't ever get taken down. We've gotten violations for ours
Yeah.
if we try to, you know, show what real scammers are. But they can put out tutorials. Oh, if they put a little disclaimer. Oh, this is for informational purposes
Yeah.
only. There you go. Yeah, right.
Yeah. He's never
Oh, do you, I wanted to tell you too. I keep forgetting. Smart Lazy Hustler. You remember that guy?
Yeah.
Um, his page is now. You go to his page, but nothing's there. You have to log on to his Telegram channel, and you have to pay to get into his Telegram channel. So he's now even making more money.
But
Yeah, I tried to look back for more information.
yeah, you know, I bet they do.
He,
I think we're
yeah, he's totally charges for his Telegram channel, and nothing is out there.
they
You
can
know, and
afford
it's
to.
out there. You can find it. You have to
Oh,
know what to
it is.
say, but it's
It is
there.
on like that. And you know, I don't know how we're going to stop people. I want to sit on everybody's shoulder and say, really? You're going to give me a bank account? You're going to give me your social security number? Give
Yeah,
me.
I would like to see more people talk to them. Talk, verbal, first, face to face. Stop believing the bullshit that their camera is broken. There are 3 cameras on my daughter's iPhone. 3. So you can't tell me your camera's broken. Oh, and it's broken what for? Like 3 years? You can't go next door. Hey, can I borrow I want to talk to my fiance. I mean, if it's that important to you, validate it, right?
I mean, yeah, everybody's there. And that's what, you know, get the proof, know the truth.
Validate it. Yeah, make sure that that person on the other line is a chat like this, is a phone call. If you're talking to somebody you think is a female, they're not going to be able to disguise their voice. Talk to them for an hour. There you go. There's your solid proof.
Well, you know, look no further than my Jordan Freya from tonight. His voice, he did not disguise his voice at all. Didn't go with the man's voice.
Yeah.
He did not. He told
A
me.
lot of times they don't do that.
No, he told me that, you know, he was Western. He'd been to West Africa. He sounded like that. And then he opened the camera. Nigerian boy. You know, they're naked
I
at the
think they're
top.
proud of it, you know? Hey, I'm
They've got,
very proud of what I'm doing.
they've got not, there's nothing, there's no reason for them to bother about what they do. So I'm gonna go.
Okay.
And yeah, we just keep doing it. We just keep going on at people. And we can't be the only ones that go on at people. We need people to pass the word out.
Yeah, you don't have to tell people you're a victim of a scam, but you have to tell people if you have children, grandchildren, friends, hey, did you hear about this? I mean, we can point you to Dr. Phil, and you can blame it on Dr. Phil. I saw Dr. Phil with scams. Wow. I mean, there's so much out there. People need, it needs to be part of the conversation, and it's not.
It does. And it's just everyday conversation that it's out there. If we can get to the fact that, I'm sorry to infringe on your privacy, but you're,
Oh, God.
you know, I tried to send you a friend request, but it just didn't.
Oh, God.
You know, come on.
In general, of all people saying that, like, come on.
Yeah. No, come on. Be, you know, general.
Prince! A
Oh,
prince! A king!
he always says, "Remember me, honey."
Yeah.
Yeah, just you can just imagine him sat there in.
Oh.
Oh, I had one this afternoon. His account's gone now. Had one this afternoon. It had Kabul, Afghanistan on it, and I
Oh.
said, "There isn't anybody left in Kabul, Afghanistan." He says, "No, I'm on a top secret mission." It was on his Facebook profile where he was.
Oh, that's a top secret. Yeah.
Mission.
Think.
Come on.
Don't let them start controlling your mind, you know?
So, Sophie, we'll keep going.
Yeah.
And we'll keep.
Tomorrow's another day.
And yeah. Thank you very much, Sophie.
You're welcome. Good chat, Ruth.
We'll have another. Okay. Bye.
Look forward
Bye.
to it. Bye-bye.